So how did Coach Mike start his commercial career? Flick East West. That's really where it all started. They're called Flick commercials today, and I got an audition with them. A friend of mine gave me a great referral to them. Okay, so I go in, I sit down, and I'm talking to this gentleman for about 20 minutes, and I'm looking at all these pictures on the wall, and hoping I can add my face to the wall as well. And I'm just so hoping these guys say yes to me. I just moved to Los Angeles for the third time, okay? Quit my job for the third time, and it's like, this time it's gonna work. So I'm sitting down talking to this agent, 20 minutes go by, and he says, listen, I don't know what to tell you. Either you have to be today, in LA's market today, you have to be either black and bald-headed with 1,000 earrings in your ear, or really J.C. Penney, and you're neither one. So I don't know what to tell you. He said, plus you're too old. You're 28 years old. So, if you had come to me when you were 18, I could have helped you. He said, plus, SAG's not taking guys like you today. There are 5,000, listen to this, there are 5,000 guys just like you trying to get in SAG every day, and they're just not taking them like they used to. So I was heartbroken. And the meeting ended just like that. He gave me my little corny pictures back and everything, and the meeting was done. And so I walked outside, found my car, went home, went to sleep. I thought I could just dream it away, sleep it away, and woke up, and here we go. My heart's still broken. So I'd gotten another referral to another very powerful agency at the time, and they're still great today. They were JHR then, today they're KSR. I got a meeting with them, and to make a long story short, what happened was within the next 2 months, I started working for guess who? J.C. Penney. The very agency that the man told me I can't work for. You got to be black and bald-headed with 1,000 earrings in your ear. The very company he told me I was no good for, I started working for that company for the next 4 years in a row, either on the spring campaign or the fall campaign. I actually ended up doing 7 commercials for J.C. Penney, 1 with my wife. So I always like to encourage my actors, no matter what you hear, when you move to Los Angeles, you must stay focused on your dream, not the dreams of others, your dream. Never let anyone else create your planet for you, because they'll always make it too small. Please remember that. Really important that you stay fixated and focused on what you want, not what others think that you can't have. So I did a Colgate commercial. Actually had a chip in my tooth. Most people believe you got to have perfect teeth to do a toothpaste commercial. No, you don't. In 1986, I was standing around somewhere. I think I was at the car wash, and I was with my brother, and I had a Coke bottle. I had it, in my mouth. And he didn't see me, and he accidentally elbowed me in the mouth, and it chipped my tooth. Now, that chip had been in my tooth for years. I never really thought much of it. And I actually went to the Colgate audition, had the chip in my tooth, the whole thing, booked the darn commercial with the chip in my tooth. Since it's been fixed. But it was amazing that you don't have to have perfect teeth to do a toothpaste commercial. I made 26 grand off that commercial. And back then, that was like huge money for me in this industry. I'd never made that much money in one day doing anything. The year before that, I'd made, I think, like 16 grand at some job. I was a department manager. So great money. So remember, you don't have to have perfect teeth to do toothpaste commercials. Cadillac. One of the first commercials I did with my wife, and car commercials that I did, was for Cadillac, and they flew us to Chicago. It was a 3-day trip. We had a great time, and they put you up in a wonderful hotel, and the food is great, and they just style you up really well. And I actually did 5 commercials with my wife. We've always had the same agent for years and years, Commercial Talent, and they're great. They're still great to this day. Many consider them to be one of the top 5 agencies in LA. And so had a great time there, had a wonderful time in Chicago, and made great money as well. I think we were in the 40s. I think it was, we made 10 grand alone on a dealer buyout. So that was wonderful as well. Whenever I rent a car, I always use Enterprise. And so one day I dropped off my fancy vehicle at the Mercedes dealer, and I needed a car. So I use Enterprise, and the Enterprise young lady came and picked me up, and I hop in the car with her, and we're driving over and to do the paperwork. And so she keeps looking at me funny. I mean, she was looking at me funny when she greeted me in the office, and she keeps, we're walking to the car, getting ready to get in the car, and she's looking at me all strange. And she said, we're driving. She said, "Do I know you from somewhere?" And I said, maybe so. I said, "What church do you go to? Which gym do you go to?" And she said, "I mean, you look familiar. Are you an actor?" I said, "Well, yeah, I coach and do a little bit of acting, yeah, and try not to celebrate it." And she said, "Oh," I said, "I actually did an Enterprise commercial." And she's driving the car, she started screaming, swerved a little bit. She said, "Oh, Star's in the car with me." And I got the biggest kick out of that. At the end, when she did drop me off, we did the paperwork. She said, "May I have your autograph, please?" on one of their brochures. So that really blew me away. I really got a kick out of that. That was a lot of fun. Toyota. That was one of the biggest jobs that I worked on as well, Toyota. We did a Toyota commercial not long ago. It ran only, now get this, it ran for only 3.5 months. We made $34,000 in 3.5 months. And here's why. Automobiles are time sensitive. They run them in seasons. Like Chevy, let's say, for instance, has 15 models. Sometimes they do these ad campaigns where they talk about their 15 models, right? They're not going to run all 15 models in one season. They're going to break them up. They'll run maybe 3 to 4. Well, so in that season, that commercial is going to run in full rotation. So you're going to make most of your money up front instead of waiting for the normal 21-month contract term. You're going to make most of the money that you were going to make on that spot sooner than later. So automobile commercials are great. Always instruct my clients, whenever your agent tells you we have an automobile commercial for you, a car commercial for you, you must take your A game into that room with yourself. You got to go in there and have your A game on, all right? Because that's a wonderful opportunity to make great money. Now, I've had my fair share of being the hero in commercials. I did a commercial for UPS once. And now get this, we were supposed to make a lot of money on this commercial. The director was running around saying, "You guys are going to be rich, you're going to be famous, you're going to make at least 40 grand off this thing. And you can buy a new house and, down payment for a house and the whole thing." It was a great spot, and I had my little hero moment where I deliver. The scenario was they were shooting a movie and the script was all messed up. And so I drive up in the UPS truck and deliver a new script, and then the actor wins the Oscar, right? Okay, so it took all day. It was a long, hot, sweaty day. Commercial starts running. I'm looking at my check stubs, about 10 grand. I'm like, oh, we got a long way to go. Then UPS goes on strike. Unbelievable. They go on strike, and it stayed at, well, I made just about 11 grand. UPS on strike, no more money. They cancel the spot. And so sometimes those heartbreaks do take place where, you think you're going to make a lot of money. Even some actors get downgraded to extra. They get outgraded. The commercial doesn't run. They lose investors and the commercial doesn't run. The idea is bad. Something politically happens where they have to cancel the spot. The more you work, the more the opportunity may come. It's not a great opportunity, of course, but it may happen where it's not going to run. For some reason, but it's a wonderful business nonetheless. Another hero spot that I worked on was Levi's. When I first started in this business, I really didn't know how to put my resume together. So I put some things on my resume that did not belong. One, in the special skills. Number one, it was karate. And I don't know karate. The most of karate that I know is from what I learned from Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon, 1974. I think I was eight or nine, I think. And he's just always had this effect on me. Bruce Lee, even to this day, I kind of feel like, he lives on the inside of me, right? So, I get an audition, and my agent, Neil, he says, "Hey, Michael, we have an audition for you tomorrow. It's for Levi's, 200 South La Brea, McDowell, tomorrow at 2:30, dress night, upscale casual." That means slacks, dress shirt, dress shoes, right? So I go in, all these handsome, tall men are there, and they're just, you know, they look like they can just whoop up on something, right? And I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't know karate. This is like unbelievable. Okay, so I stay, and they call me in the room, just me and the session runner. I slate my name. I don't know what's going to happen next. Again, no script, no sides, no copy, no nothing. And so, hi, tell us your name. Hi, I'm Mike Pointer. Mike, do you know karate? And I'm like, yeah. And the session runner says, okay, great, so let me see some. And I just kind of blanked out after that. And I was in the room, and I'm doing all these kicks and stuff and chops and doing all this crazy stuff. I turned into that 5-year-old child that really lives on the inside. And obviously, it was great enough for me to get a call back. Obviously, it was great enough for me to actually book the job. So I did a Levis spot, supposed to know all this great karate stuff, and I mean, I was able to pull it off. So that was a great spot. It was a historic spot for me. I had a great manager at the time, Michael Bruno, and he had even said, put that on your theatrical reel. It's like a demo, a little movie. It's like a mini movie. But the greatest commercial that I've ever done in my life, and it's a wonderful spot that I worked on, was actually for McDonald's. It was for the Olympics in Atlanta. And it was the first commercial to run in the opening ceremonies. And it was a magnificent spot. And my phone started ringing off the hook. People I'd been managers, agents I'd been mailing pictures to theatrically and trying to get people to call me, pay attention to me. All of a sudden, my phone starts ringing off the hook. It was a wonderful spot. In fact, Leo Burnett said, this is definitely one of the greatest commercials that we've ever done in the history of our ad agency and for McDonald's. And this definitely will go in our time vault. And we appreciate what you did. And it was a great, great spot. I was intimidated when I got to the audition because there were actual track and field Olympic sprinters there. And guys that had run and passed Olympics and run in Olympic trials and that kind of thing. And I didn't know what I was doing. I hadn't run track since high school. But again, it wasn't really about being fast. It was about this look over your shoulder in the end, expressing this emotion. It was a reaction shot that they were after that really told the whole story. It's a tearjerker. And I must say, that was the greatest commercial I ever did. I don't think I'll ever be able to top that. My name is Coach Mike from Hey, I Saw Your Commercial. Thank you for watching.